I did it right this time. I don't understand what is going on with Facebook. I don't get it. I really don't understand. So I'm gonna cross my fingers. Oh, okay. Whew. There's people. Took me a second. Hi, Barb. How are you? I'm so glad to see people. I don't know what happened the first time. I was talking and then all of a sudden it went, I thought there was I don't know. Facebook's weird. Hi, Maria. Hi, Ruth. Hi, my friends. Oh, there's Miss Katie. Hey, Katie. Hi, Anita. Yes, hi to all the live wires. I love that so much. I love that so much. Hi, Suzanne. It's good to see you. Hi, Michela. Hi. So, I know you guys can probably hear there's a whiny dog right over here, right next to me. I don't know if you can hear him or not, but you probably will in a minute. Because unfortunately, I normally kennel the dogs before I do Facebook Lives unless there's like something, you know, like they've been pinned all day or something, you know, because I haven't been here. He has this toy too. That's so not me. That's a toy. I promise. I'll even show it to you to prove it to you. But both dogs are in the room with me today, unfortunately. It's not necessarily unfortunately. I'm just apologizing to you in advance for the toy that you are hearing and all the panting and heavy breathing. That's definitely the dogs. Their bedding is being washed today, so I couldn't kennel them. I didn't want them to lay on the hard ground of their kennel. I know, they're dogs. They probably don't care, but their bedding is being washed. So they're in here with me. Lots of panting, lots of grunting and squeaking of this toy that sounds horrible. So the puppers are in the house. They are here. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Suzanne says, we had to, and then I lost it. We had a tornado and a bull water advisory. Oh my gosh, I'm sending you lots of love. Lots of thoughts. That's scary. That's scary. Facebook really is a mess. I don't understand why, but you know, I've just kind of given up questioning what the deal is with Facebook. It's just a mess. So guys, Nicole is in the house today. Hello, Nicole. Guys, Nicole and Joan are keeping things running in the Sara Ellis Designs community, and she is going to be dropping links and all of that for us. She's kind of, I guess you would say, she's in training, which I think is so funny because Nicole is like one of the smartest internet people and like technical people in the whole entire world. She doesn't need any training whatsoever. So Joan is here, but Nicole is being Joan for the day, which I think is just absolutely adorable, and I'm so glad that she's here. So thank you, Nicole. And thank you, Joan. Patty says we have a new puppy. Oh, I love puppies. You know what I love about puppies? I don't love potty training puppies. Ugh, but I love puppy breath. Is that weird? Like, you know how puppy breath smells different than other dog breath? Like, you know, they get to that point in their life where dog breath is just kind of, ugh. But that puppy breath is so cute. All right, so let's talk, shall we? I got a grumpy face earlier. I hope that was an accident, but it's possible that somebody was like already over me chatting. So sorry, we're just trying to get everybody in the house. Trying to let everybody in before we get started. All right. So let's talk about it. On Tuesday, sorry, I thought it was Tuesday for a second. On Tuesday, we revisited purl knotting, and while we did that project, I have it here. I'll show it to you. I'm giving this to my mom. We did this purl knotting project where we knotted all the pearls and then we did the turnaround method and we knotted back up. Well, while we were doing that, I asked if it would be okay if we did another pearl knotting project today where not only are we going to knot the pearls and make a bracelet, I'm going to show you the starting and the stopping for the traditional method. And then I'm also, you guys, this is probably a bad idea, but I got water in a bowl and my bead reamer, and I'm going to show you how to ream the pearls. I'm kind of worried about it. I couldn't find any paper towels because I didn't bother to look until the last minute. So I just got a whole stack of Kleenexes. So let's cross our fingers that we don't have any major spills today. Oh, Beth says it's your channel. You chat all you want. Thank you. Thank you, Beth. It's the trolls that have the problem with it. Lucy says Facebook is letting me comment. Hooray! Facebook is such a weird, I spend so much time being frustrated with Facebook. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to show you how to ream the pearls underwater. Hopefully we won't make a huge mess. And then we're going to put together the bracelet. I'm going to show you the starting and the stopping method, which I've actually done before, but we're going to revisit it because I love pearl knotting, and because we have so many new people, it's definitely worth checking out, so that I can refer to a newer video instead of having to dig through the old ones, because, you know, lazy, and, you know, no, not really. I'm not. I promise I'm not. But that being said, for all of you who are new, first and foremost, welcome in. We're so glad to have you here in the community. One thing that I do want to mention to you is that we are going to, I just happened to look up and see Nicole's comment, and my train of thought just completely derailed. Okay, let's try that again. When our Facebook Lives are over, these videos are moved over to my YouTube channel. If you are not, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. Nicole's got me tickled already. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. That is a great place where you can rewatch the videos as many times as you want to. And not only that, you can, from what I've heard, it's easier to replay the videos on YouTube because of the controls. You can skip ahead, like I think it's 15 seconds or back 15 seconds or whatever. It just seems to be a little bit more user-friendly than it is to watch the replays on Facebook. You can still get the replays on Facebook, but YouTube is the place where I like to send you. Joan and Nicole are the ones who are in charge of making sure that those videos get uploaded over to the YouTube channel, and YouTube is just as fussy as Facebook, so sometimes it takes a while, okay? So if you don't see it, you know, immediately, know that they are working on it. It's just that YouTube tends to be temperamental, and it goes through all these checks, and sometimes it just takes a while. That was the longest explanation ever. I'm sorry. Something else before we get started. I know, I got lots of information today. Can't help it. It's just the way it is. So, something else. Next week is going to be a little bit different for me, you guys, because I've got 3 kids, right? And one of my kids, my youngest, Ari, is going to be graduating 5th grade. So exciting. So next week she has 5th grade day and she has 5th grade graduation. These are going to fall on Thursday and Friday of next week. So I'm planning in advance, and I will definitely post for you guys to give you reminders of everything. There will not be a Facebook Live on Thursday of next week. There will be on Tuesday, and I'll remind you again, but there won't be one on Thursday, because not only do I have, you know, 5th grade stuff going on, but I also have, I'm a little nervous. I'm getting my first set of Invisalign from the dentist that day too. So I figured it'd probably be a good day to just kind of focus on family and take some ibuprofen, because I've been told that it's going to be painful. Also, let's see, on Friday, that is her 5th grade graduation, and it happens to fall right at the exact same time as my normal Friday Live. But because I don't want to skip a Friday Live, I'm going to move that up later into the afternoon. So I'm thinking it'll probably be 4 p.m. Eastern time, but I will definitely keep you posted. So there won't be a live on Thursday, but there will be a live on Friday. It will just be later on in the day. Okay. So you're only going to miss one next week. Again, I know this is way in advance, but I want you to know, and I will post reminders and update and all of that good stuff between now and then. I'll miss you too, but you know, they only graduate 5th grade once. And I can't believe it's happening. She's really excited because we're actually letting her go and do it in person. She's been doing virtual school this whole time. So she's looking forward to being part of the 5th grade day and the graduation. They're going to have like a parade outside where we can all go. So Invisalign, Lisa says, why? Well, it's a long story, but it's not because of the trolls. Some people think it is, because I had some people troll me on YouTube and say some really horrible comments about the gap between my 2 front teeth. But I actually have some other issues back here where I have some nerves that are exposed, and they're going to just move all my teeth. And hopefully it'll close up that gap too. So those trolls can just go away, right? Yeah, it's going to be painful though. I'm not looking forward to it. And it's going to take 2 years, according to my dentist. 2 years. And then I have to have extra teeth put in there, like, you know, what are they called, those porcelain veneers? They're not, are they veneers? They're not veneers when they're in the back. I don't know what they are, doesn't really matter. But yeah, next week I get my first tray, and oh, I'm not looking forward to it. I've heard that the first few trays are very painful. So all right, wow, we've done a lot of talking, and I still have one more thing to tell you. I'm so sorry. We will get to this project. Last thing to tell you is that if you are part of the paid group, tonight is our special guest at 7 p.m. So don't forget to set your reminders for that. We're going to be visiting with Meredith Roddy. She's got a little project to show you guys, and she's going to do a little chit-chatting with us. Implants. Yes, that's what it is. Implants in my mouth, not elsewhere. Just to be clear. And let's see. Also, tonight, Sam from Sam's Bead Box, you know, he has his lives on Thursdays, right? Well, it happens to be kind of late in the evening for me. It actually falls at right about 9 o'clock. And so I may or may not be a special guest there tonight, perhaps. So I've got a busy night. Ahead of me. So we're going to do a live here. We've got a live at 7 on the paid group. And then I will be popping in over on Sam's Bead Shop to say hello during his live tonight. So if you've got nothing else to do, you can hang out with me this evening. Okay. Enough already. Let's get to it. Let me talk before we get turned around as to what I have in front of me. Are they called wisdom teeth? They are not. They're implants. I had my wisdom teeth taken out a long time ago, which was actually kind of part of the problem. This is a weird conversation. All right, so what we have here, this is not a dental instrument, though it does look like something that the dentist would use and I would cry about. This is a bead reamer. This is an electric bead reamer. Okay, so it takes batteries. You put the reamer in. It comes on these little rubber tubes, right? It fits down into the clamp, and then the clamp fits here. And you can get different sizes depending on what size beads it is that you need to ream, okay? This one, I don't know the size of this one, so don't ask me. I have absolutely no idea, but it's the one that comes with the bead reamer. This is a Beadalon tool. You guys have also seen me use this with the wire rounder tip. So you can take the bead reamer tip off and replace it with the wire rounder tip to round off the ends of your wire. I use it a lot when I am making ear wires and I need to round off that tip. Now, you can get bead reamers that are not electric, okay? You just use, you know, you just crank it by hand. Totally fine. You don't have to use one like this, but this is the one that I'm going to be using. And we're going to ream some pearls. The reason why we need to ream some pearls is because when we do this in the classic style, 3 sets of pearls, no, not 3 sets, 3 pearls on the front of the bracelet and 3 pearls at the end of the bracelet need to be reamed because we need to go through them twice. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. Fingers crossed, we don't make a mess. Let's get down to business. Kendall says she just bought that reamer. You're going to love it. I love my bead reamer. I use it for all kinds of things, and I'm really, really bad about using it without water, which can destroy the motor in it. So I don't necessarily recommend doing that, but if you're in a pinch, you absolutely can. Okay. I just don't recommend it. Okay. So for our project, you're also going to need your knotter tool, because remember, this is what we've been working on this week. And you're going to need some pearls. I'm using these really pretty kind of navy blue pearls, just these freshwater pearls. I got these from Michael's, and they have a decent size hole on them, but I need to ream them so that they have an even larger hole. And the reason is because I'm going to need to go through some of them more than once with my cord. Okay, I'm using size 6 cord, silk cord for this, and though it is small, sometimes it gets stuck if you don't pre-ream your pearls. Okay, so there are 4 here that I've already reamed, so I'm just going to set those to the side, and we need to do 2 together. So I'm just going to select 2. They'll look pretty good. Okay, those will do. I'm going to sit the rest of these to the side. All right, now I'm going to raise you up a little bit. Okay, so you're not going to be super close with this, but it's necessary that I have some space, or we are going to end up with a big spill. So You want to use a bowl or, you know, just a shallow dish or even a cup, as long as you can get your fingers in it. Okay. Now I'm just going to pour some water in this. You only need enough water that will cover your pearl. Okay. So don't think that you're going to have like, you know, 6 inches of water. You really don't need all that much water, but you need to be sure that you can completely submerge your pearl. I apologize that the light is not nearly as bright when we are pulled away this far. Okay, so when you have your reamer ready to go, okay, if you are going to be using the electric reamer, you need to do this underwater for a couple of reasons. Number one, it does not destroy the motor on this thing. It's made to go underwater. It helps it to glide a lot better. And number two, your pearls or your gemstones or whatever it is that you're going to be reaming will heat up in your fingers. And it also creates a lot of dust. So the water keeps the bead at a nice temperature so you don't burn your fingers, and it also cleans up all the dust, as well as helping the reamer do the job that it's supposed to be doing, which is enlarging. Is that a word? Enlarging the bead hole. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to place the reamer in the hole of the bead before you put it in the water. Okay. Don't push your button yet. And then you want to take this and put it underneath the water, and whoops, then you want to ream. And I don't know if you can see or not, but you can see the dust that it's creating. Okay. And I just kind of go in and out a bit and I also try to kind of make this motion, okay? Because I don't want there to be any little scraggly parts inside there that could possibly cut our silk cord. All right, so there's one side. And I don't know if you can tell or not, but it has opened that hole up quite a bit. It's not going to be a hugely noticeable difference, but you are going to be able to tell. Now, I like to turn mine over and do the other side as well, just for good measure. Partly because as you're going in with the reamer from one direction, again, those little scraggly bits on the inside, you don't want, you want to smooth them out both directions as much as you possibly can. Okay, so holding it under the water and then pushing the button on the bead reamer. And I don't know if you can see, but the bead reamer is actually coming out the other side. And that's really what I'm going for, okay? I want to be sure that that bead reamer is going to come out the other side. If it doesn't come out the other side, then it's not quite open enough. All right, so there's one. I'm going to call this one done. I know what's going through Nicole's head. Oh, gosh. Okay. All right, so you can see this one's got a nice large hole on it now, and I know for sure, both directions, I know that I can get my cord through there twice, okay? So these guys I've already done. I may hit them one more time before we go, but I definitely want, before we move on, not go. But I definitely want to do this one, okay? And sometimes it gets stuck. I have to undo it. But you can see all that dust that comes up from the inside of the pearl and it kind of distributes into the water. You don't want that all over your desk. It takes forever to clean that up. So the water definitely helps with all of that. As well as keeping your pearl from burning your fingers. Okay, now I can't decide. I don't know which side I was working on. All right, now it's coming out both sides, so I know it's good. All right, dry that one off. Okay, gonna sit that one to the side. And then let's just work on these 4 that I've got real quick, just for good measure. Okay, So hold the pearl between your fingers. Now they actually make a tool that will hold this for you. Okay. It's just a little, it's sort of like a little paddle, and it's padded so that it holds the pearl nice and tight. But I mean, it's, to me, that's like not necessarily a need to have, you know what I mean? Like, I don't mind to get my fingers wet. It doesn't bother me. Turning it around, trying to... And with your white and cream colored pearls, you may not notice nearly as much dust. They do dust, but you can tell this is like even turned the water blue because of the color on these pearls. All right, let's quickly go through these. It right into the bead mat. Did you see that? Oh gosh. All right, 2 more. We'll do them quick. Whoops. This one definitely, it's a little, needs a little extra. I'm glad I did that one more than once. All right, dry that one off and we'll do one more, okay? And then we're gonna get started with our bracelet, and you'll understand why it is that this was such an important step to take, okay? And guys, you can do this with any of your gemstone beads. You just wanna be careful when you're working on glass beads. Obviously, you don't want those to crack on you, so you don't want to ream them too much, but it can be done. But more than anything, you can do this with your pearls and your gemstones, even if you're not going to do hand knotting, okay? You can do this even if you're just going to string them, but the hole on them is too small, or maybe they were drilled irregularly, or you just need to clean up. Sometimes the hole will be larger on one side than it is on the other side, and you try to string it and it just won't go all the way through. This is a good technique to use to, you know, fix up the beads that sometimes have problems. And gemstones and pearls, most of the time, are hand drilled, so they're not machine drilled. And a lot of times they're the ones that'll give you the most trouble, and they do have the smallest hole. All right, so we have reamed all of our pearls. You can see our water has turned this weird blue color. I'm going to move this to the side so that we don't accidentally knock it over, which I'm sure I will still manage to do later this afternoon, no matter what. And I'm going to lower you guys back down. Okay. All right, we're done with the bead reamer. We can sit this guy to the side. We don't need it anymore. Now, what I do want, though, is I want to be sure that I do not mix these up with my other pearls, okay? Because these have been reamed. They have a larger hole, and I need these to stay separate from these guys, okay? Because we've got to have these. We need 3 for the front of the bracelet and 3 for the end of the bracelet. So don't mix those up with your others. So now we need to take our cord, or our silk cord rather, or whatever kind of cord you're going to be using, and you want to go ahead and take that off the card. I meant to take mine off and stretch it earlier, and I did not get around to doing that because I got a big shipment of bubble wrap and bubble mailers, and I had to deal with monster size boxes and did not have a chance to do this ahead of time. So we're doing it together. All right. So pull your cord off of your card, okay, and try to stretch it out if you can. You don't have to do major stretching, but I don't know about you. I don't do a lot of major stretching. I stretch when I get up. That's about it. No major stretching happening here. Okay, now we want to come to the end that does not have a needle on it. And we want to tie a knot. And this is just going to help to keep our pearls from sliding off the end. Okay. And I'm doing a double loop through, little surgeon's knot here. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it just creates kind of like a little barrel, right? All right. Now, to get started, we are going to take our needle on the other end, and we want to thread on 3 of these pearls that we did the extra reaming on. Okay, so slide on 3 pearls, and now we're going to slide on a wire guardian. If you do not have a wire guardian and you are using coiled wire, French wire, then this would be the time that you would want to add your French wire. Also, I'm going to go ahead and attach my clasp at the same time. My clasp is one of these little doodads where you just slide it in. This is one of the upper clasp from Beadalon. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to thread my wire guardian onto my cord, go back down through my wire guardian. Okay. I'm going to thread on my clasp and bring that up so that it sits inside my wire guardian. A box clasp, yes. All right, now my clasp is already ready. And now what I want to do is I want to pull all of this down. So we're going to pull out all the length of our silk. But we're going to leave ourselves a little room here, okay? So here's my knot. Okay, here's the knot at the end. The 3 pearls that we thread on, and now we've pulled down our wire guardian and our clasp, okay? Now, we're going to take our needle, and we are going to thread back through this pearl. Okay, it's the first one after the clasp. So take your needle, slide it through that pearl. That's why the bead reaming was really important. Grab a hold of that needle and pull. And you want to pull out all the slack here. Okay. Now we want to slide that pearl up against our wire guardian or your French wire, depending on what you're using. Okay. Now we have 2 strands of silk coming out. We've got our 2 pearls down here. We're going to take our 2 strands and we are going to tie an overhanded knot. Pull that knot right up next to the pearl. Okay. Now, want to take our needle again. What size is the cord? I'm using size 6. Okay. Now, pull up the next pearl, take your needle, go through that one. Pull out all the slack. And it's a lot, so just be prepared to deal with all of this mess like we did on Tuesday. As you're pulling, a lot of times you'll pull extra knots into your cord. Okay. Pull out all that slack. Slide that pearl up next to the knot that you made. Okay. Now you want to take your 2 ends again and tie another overhanded knot. Okay. And now we're going to go through the last of our 3 pearls. So we're going to take our needle, go through that pearl, pull out the slack, Push that right up against the knot that you just made. All right. Now, at this point, we're ready to move on with our regular knotting. However, we got to cut off the tail, this little short end. But before I do that, I want to come in. Where's my glue? Where's my glue? It disappeared. Okay. I want to come in with my messy Hypo Cement here. And I want to add a drop of glue to the last knot that we made. Why? Just extra security, that's why. Just because I said so, that's why. No, because now we're gonna trim off the tail, that short tail. And I don't think that that knot is ever going to come undone, but now that I've added a little drop of the Hypo Cement, I know for sure that it won't, okay? So I'm gonna come in with a cutter of some variety and I'm gonna trim off the short tail and get it as close to that pearl as you possibly can without cutting your other cord, okay? Now, we're ready to begin. We've got our beginning started, okay? Now, we're gonna thread on all the pearls that we wanna knot for our bracelet, except that we need to remember to not thread on the entire length because we need to make room for the extra 3 in the other end of our clasp, okay? So what I like to do is I thread on several pearls and I'll do the knotting and then I'll stop and kind of reassess and measure with my ruler and make sure that I don't over knot, right? Because I still have these 3 that have to go on no matter what. So I'm going to thread on several pearls here. I don't know how many it will take, but we don't have to go through these pearls more than once. We only need to go through them the one time, so we don't have to worry about the hole on these other than just making sure that our needle fits through it at least one time, okay? I love freshwater pearls. I know a lot of people, not a lot of people, but there are some people who do not like freshwater pearls at all because they are irregular. Sometimes they have rough edges on them. Sometimes they're flat. Sometimes they have what looks like chipping, like this guy right here. This one might be a little too much for me. I will sit him to the side, but for the most part, I think each one of them is its own little work of art. So see, like this one, how it's flat on one side, but it's nice and curved on the other. Like I don't discriminate. I love them all because they're so different. This one, see how it's got that flat on the bottom? Some people just don't like the variations in them, and that's okay. Like you can be an either or. You don't have to love them. If you don't love them, then you definitely can. You can do this with glass pearls as well, right? You don't have to do this with freshwater pearls. Okay, so now we're going to do exactly like we did earlier in the week, and we are going to hand knot our pearls. So I've switched it around. Okay, so this is over here on my left-handed side. Is that what I wanted to do? It is not what I wanted to do. Just kidding. Let me switch it back around here. Okay, in my dominant hand are my 3 pearls and my clasp. And then my other pearls are here, but there's some space in between, right? So you can see there's a few inches in between there. I'm going to come in with my knotter tool, and we're just going to get started with our knotting. So just like we did on Tuesday, I'm going to walk through this slow so everybody can remember, okay? So my cord is running underneath my hand, okay? I'm wrapping around my 2 fingers, and I'm going to, as I'm wrapping around, I'm wrapping away from my body, okay? To create a loop, and then I'm going to take my pearls and my clasp and drop them down through that loop, okay? Super important part. Now, the next important part is when you come in with the tool. So you're holding the loop here open, your fingers are creating a V. You want the V of your fingers and the V, that's a very slight V that's in the needle of your tool, to be going the same direction, okay? So you want to hook this from the inside of the small V out this direction, okay? Put your finger on the needle to hold everything in place and pull out the slack. Now, if you need a refresher on this, Tuesday's video is a great one because I walked through this really slow. Okay, you're going to pull up the knot. You're going to place your cord in the yoke of the tool, pulling tight. Then you're going to use your thumb. You're going to push up, and that's going to deliver the knot right next to your bead. Okay, we're going to slide down another pearl. And we're going to repeat. Taking your 2 fingers, wrap around to create a loop, take all of the pearls, drop them down. Okay? Take your tool from the small part of the V, hooking out towards the large part of the V of your fingers. Pull out all of the slack to pull that knot up. Place the cord in the yoke, push up, and it will deliver your knot. Now you can see, you can't even tell that the 2 knots that we started with are overhanded knots. Like that's seamless and perfect. That's exactly the way your traditional pearls are normally strung. Some of them will have a clamshell at the end, but for the most part, this is the traditional way you would start, and also the traditional way you're going to finish a pearl strand. And the wire guardian is a fairly new thing. I mean, not as in, I mean, over the past 100 years new, not like yesterday new. Because most people would use French wire here, which is just a coiled wire and very, very tiny, tiny gauge. And you would use it the same way. That was what, you know, that was the wire guardian is kind of the answer to, you know, the modernized version of that coiled wire. All right, so threading down another pearl right up against the knot that we just made. We're going to take our 2 fingers, wrapping around away from our body to create a loop. Take all of the pearls, drop them through. Okay? Take your tool from the small V to the outer V, right? We're hooking this direction. Don't hook the other direction. Don't do this. Don't come at it this way. You got to hook it this direction. Pull out all the slack. Place your cord in the yoke and deliver your knot. Okay? We're just going to keep going. So we pull down another pearl, wrap around, drop the pearls down, take your tool, hook, pull out all the slack. Nicole, you need this tool. You need this tool. There's nothing like knotted beads. Deliver your knot. It just feels so fluid. There's nothing like the drape that happens when you hand knot, whether it is, you know, whether it's pearls or gemstones or Swarovski or it makes no difference. It all feels amazing when you knot between it for whatever reason. All right, around, drop, hook with your tool, pull out the slack, bring the cord into that yoke, push up and deliver your knot. And you'll notice my knots are the same. There's no wiggle room in between there. You don't want those beads to be wiggling around. You want those beads to be nice and knotted and secure on your cord, whether you're using silk cord or nylon cord or whatever kind of cord it is that you're using, okay? Slide down another one, wrap around your 2 fingers, drop all the beads down, hook, pull the knot, bring that into the yoke of the tool, and push up to deliver the knot. Can you make double knots with the tool? No. As far as I know, you can't. Every time I've tried, it's been a disaster. And somebody asked me that on Tuesday too. Like, can you loop around twice? I've never been able to do it and make a consistent knot with the tool with it. I just haven't been able to do. I'm not going to say that it's not possible, but I have not had any good luck doing that. Sharon says you can. I've not ever had good luck at it. Maybe I just need to practice it more. I've never been very good at doing a double knot with the tool. Hooking, pulling, put that in the yoke and push up. Okay, I'm going to do about 3 more, and then we're going to check the length on this, because remember, I have to be sure that I leave enough room in the length of my bracelet for those 3 pearls that have now gotten mixed in with some of these others. There they are. Okay. All right, wrapping around. Drop them all down. Hook. Okay, to the V. Oh, well, yeah, if you do more than 1 knot, yeah, Wyatt did teach me. You can do more than 1 knot for decoration. Yeah, that. I don't know if you meant like to do a double knot on the tool, or if you meant like to do a bunch of knots in a row, because you definitely can do a bunch of knots in a row. Joan, Nicole's trying to slide into your DMs. You might want to check that. Oh gosh. All right, loop around. That's so funny. Drop those down. We're going to take our tool, hook it. I put my finger over the top of the needle just so it doesn't slide off. You don't have to. If you're confident that it's not going to slide off, you don't have to. But I definitely, I'm clumsy, so you never know. All right, bring the cord into the yoke. Pull kind of hard. I mean, you don't want to rip it or anything, but I'm giving some good tension on that, and then push up to deliver your knot. Okay, let's do 1 more and we'll check. So around my fingers, drop them all down. Hook, pull out the slack. Your cord into the yoke and deliver your knot. All right, so this is what we have so far. We need to double check our measurements here. So I'm going to bring in my tool here, see how far we're going. All right, looks like I'll probably be able to let's see, there's 5. I'm gonna do 7 more, and then we'll check it. Okay, so someone should ask questions so Nicole can shout them at me. You guys are putting Nicole through her paces today. I love it. I love it. All right. Okay. Now, added some more pearls, so we're ready to go. Okay. Around my 2 fingers. Whoops. Dropping them all down. Now it gets, as your work gets longer, it's a little bit more to drop through your loop here, okay? Hook. Whoops. With your finger, pull the knot. Your cord into the yoke. Nice tension, and deliver the knot. Okay, we're going to pull down another. Wrap around their 2 fingers away from your body to create that loop. Drop your beads down. Don't bring them from the bottom up. You got to drop them down through the loop. Take your tool, hook. It's a side-to-side hook with your tool. It's not an up and down. It's not a scoop. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. So bring another pearl down. Then the cord is under my hand. I'm wrapping away from my body to create my loop. And then I'm holding it in place here with my thumb, taking all my beads, drop those down through that loop. Now, don't come at it this way with like a scoop, okay? Don't go at it going straight down or from this direction. You want the V of your fingers and the V of your tool to be going in the same direction. And it's a side-to-side hook. It's not a down. I mean, I guess you could do down if you wanted to, but it's really impractical. So it's just a side-to-side hook. Put your finger over it. Pull out that slack in your knot. Bring the cord into the yoke and deliver the knot. The needle on the cord. So the silk cord that I use has a needle already attached to it. But you got to be careful when you're shopping for it because they don't all come with a needle on one end. Okay, wrapping around my fingers to make my loop, dropping all those beads down into the center of that loop, hooking, pull. What brand knotter tool? It's the Beadalon Knotter Tool, of course. You gotta be more shouty. Use your capital. Use your outside voice, Nicole. Right? When we're going to deliver our knot. Okay. Bring another one down. Wrap around our fingers. Drop down. Our tool. And hook. You're supposed to be on this spot, Nicole. And to deliver the knot. Okay. Wrap around her fingers. Drop. Nicole wanted to ask you a question, and she is tapping her foot. Hook. Pull out the tension. What size are the pearls? I believe these are 8s. I'll get you a measurement here in just a second. Okay, into the yoke and deliver the knot. All right, we're gonna do one. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna do one more yet. I'm gonna come and measure. Yeah, we're gonna do one more. All right, let's move down one more. Around my 2 fingers. Dropping all the pearls down. A little bit trickier when it's longer. Sarah Nicole won't ask Wanda's question in shouty form. You guys crack me up. I'm gonna hook, pull out the tension, bring that knot. Bring the cord through the yoke and deliver the knot. Okay, so we've got a pretty good length here. I have enough room for 3 more pearls and the other end of my clasp. Okay, so let me get all of that ready for you, and then I'm gonna grab my gauge here. I believe these. I'm sorry, I hate it when that happens. Let's see. Catherine says, can you do something with the tying station? What would you like to see, my friend? You guys know I love the tying station. Yep, these are 8s. They're, you know, because they're irregular, they're going to run from like 7mm to 8mm. But I believe that the strand that I got these on, it was from Michael's. It was one of those hanging cards where there were 2 strands hanging. And I'm pretty sure it said 8mm on the little card. I wish I still had it. I could tell you for sure. But yeah, this one at least is an 8. Show your bracelet for very demanding Wanda. Which bracelet? I got my saints on. And Saint Benedict and Saint Michael. And then my saints. I found this. I forgot I had it. I've had this like since I was a teenager, probably. Found it. Are you talking about this one? This one says pray. Because, you know. Because pray. because I said so. Okay, so oh gosh. All right, so now those 3 pearls that we reamed, right, that are ready, that have the nice big hole on those, we're gonna thread those on. Okay. I'm going to bring those down. Okay, now a little bit different than when we started because we have to measure ahead of time. We have to kind of measure a little extra spacing in here so that we can do our knotting in between these. And it's a little tricky, but it's not super hard. So go ahead, thread your last 3 pearls on, okay? And then you want to thread on your wire guardian. Sophia says she has the same Saint bracelet. I love my Saint bracelet. I've got one in brown too, but the one that is in black that I've had it since I was probably 16. Like I've had it with me forever. In fact, I think I restrung it several years ago. I'm not Catholic, you guys. I just really, I probably should have been. Anyway, all right. So now you want to thread on the other side of your clasp as well. And you want to bring that to the loop part of your wire guardian, which might take a little finessing here. Okay. Now you want to bring all of the slack out. So just hold on to the wire guardian. Okay. And bring all that down. Now, like I said, we want to have a little extra wiggle room here because we can't just, you know, take our thread through there. We have to knot in between these. So we do have to have a little extra space so that I can get in there and do some overhanded knots. So bring it close, but not right up next to it. Make sure you've got a little extra wiggle room in between those. Wanda, I'm not Catholic. I just like their jewelry. No. There's more to it than that. But yeah, they do have great jewelry and great architecture. Very inspiring all the way around. And yeah. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, I just started doing it without even telling you. I've pulled out way too much slack here. I can pull that up. But I'm going to take my needle, okay, and I'm going to go back through that last pearl that we just added, and I can also pull out the slack as well. Okay. So pull out all of your slack. Hold on to the end of your clasp, and you're going to pull. Okay, now wiggle a little, okay? Everybody here likes to wiggle, so I don't have to ask you guys twice. All right, now I know I can see a little bit of daylight between those beads, this one and this one, here and here. I need enough room to get a knot in there. So now what I'm going to do, okay, I got to tie a knot, but it can't be like what we started with because I don't have enough room here, right? So what I do is I wrap around my finger to create a loop and then pull the thread through that loop. Okay. And then pull that tight. And that's going to deliver that knot onto the cord. Okay. Now, we want to take our needle right next to that knot that we just tied, and you want to go into that next bead. Okay. Pull. Okay. And now we need to tie another overhanded knot right here between these two beads. So again, I wrap around my finger to make a loop. Take it off of my finger and then pull the long end of my thread through that. Pull down. Uh-oh, don't wrap around your beads. Pull that down. Tight as you can get it. Okay. And then we're going to go through our third pearl. But there's already a knot here, so we don't have to tie another knot. But we do have to wiggle our needle next to the knot we just created. and out the other side. I may have to trim off my needle's getting a little goofy on the end. Okay, so thread through that last bead. That's why it was important to ream these 3. And I know I can get that needle through there. Come on now. It's a little tricky. Lucy says, love this demo, right as I'm having trouble. But, you know, you're going to see this will probably be the one spot that everybody, the one spot that made somebody mad. I'm sorry, whoever I made mad. The one spot where everybody will get a little tripped up because it's such a tiny little space there, right? Such a tiny little area. So I'm actually going to come in with my pliers and grab a hold of that needle. There we go. I got it. Woo! Sweet talk the needle. That's right. You got to give it a little extra encouragement and pull through. And that's it. Okay. Now we got to trim that off. But before we do that, we want to add a little of our Hypo Cement, right? Remember, to that second to last knot, just in case. It's just a little extra insurance. It'll dry clear. You'll never even know it's there. Okay. And now very, very carefully, you want to come in here and trim off your cord, but you don't want to don't trim the good cord. Don't trim your knot or anything like that. Okay. You got to be careful. Get as close as you can. I didn't get quite close enough, but I can get in there with my extra sharp pointies in a minute and get that out of there. But there you go. Now you have a seamless bracelet. And guys, what's wrong with my clasp? You don't have to use a fancy clasp to do this, okay? You can, let's see, what was I going to say? Sorry, I got my train of thought derailed there. You can use just standard jump rings and lobster clasp or whatever you want to, okay? When I'm using something fancy like a box clasp or something that's a little extra special that I don't want to lose, I will just directly attach it to my wire guardian. So you don't have to do it that way, okay? You don't have to do it that way. You definitely can just use your normal hardware and your wire guardians or your French wire. Let's see, there was a question about why not just thread on and knot all the way up. I think, let's see, why can't you knot from the third purl and come towards the clasp to end the bracelet? Because that leaves your last knot exposed and your cord not going through another bead. Does that make sense? So if I did that and I just kept knotting all the way up to right here, and then I still have to loop through, right? I still have to loop through my wire guardian and bring that cord back out. I guess you technically could if you wanted to, but that's just not really the way that I was taught how to do it. This is a traditional, I don't have a better answer for you. I'm so sorry. Wow, I shouldn't have even tackled that question because this is the way I was taught. I guess you can do it that way. I don't know for sure. I just know that this is the traditional technique and that it puts your knot, this knot right here, that's not the knot that's going to make or break your bracelet, right? This is the knot that's going to make or break your bracelet, and it's going through 2 beads already, and then it goes through another bead before you cut it off. And you can't really do that on this end. If you just cut it off, then there's nothing but just this knot and this bead to secure, or I'm sorry, this bead to secure your entire piece. I think it's just a matter of security, to be completely honest with you. Because that was what hand knotting and pearls was all about, because people, you know, your pearls were super, super expensive. A lot of times people could not, yeah, Lisa says it doesn't give the bracelet enough strength. It doesn't. And that's all about the security. People would save, you know, and a single pearl, buy a single pearl at a time, and they knotted between them so that when they were clutching their pearls and their pearls broke, that they didn't lose them. they were all knotted. You might lose one at the most, but that I think that that's the name of the game, is just the extra security and strength there for that reason. So can you use a thread burner to cut? Well, it's silk. If you're using nylon, you absolutely can. You just want to be really, really careful that you don't burn through your knots. That's not a good thing. You don't want to burn through your knot. That is definitely not a good thing at all. But you can use your thread burner to melt your knots, which is nice if you're using, if you're using nylon. Terry says she missed so much. Thank goodness for replays. Lori says, great tutorial. You're so welcome. I'm so glad you liked it. My dog thought I was talking to him because I was talking so high pitched. All right, I'm going to turn you guys around and we will part ways for a little while today, because some of you are going to see a little bit more of me today. All right, so I've not ever cut my silk with the thread burner, so I don't know for sure, but I know you can melt the ends of your nylon cord. Thank you. Yeah, Joan says thread burners are best for man-made threads, not natural threads in most cases. She's so smart. She's so smart. She really is. I'm not joking, like I'm being silly, but she totally is. So here's our bracelet. I'll probably put this one in the shop because it's just so darn pretty, right? Who doesn't want a hand knotted bracelet? The last one I put in the shop, y'all bought immediately. So I'll probably put this one in the shop too. It's really, really pretty. Maria wants to see my earrings. These are Candy Cooper earrings from a while back. Aren't they pretty? I love them. All right, so that's it. I hope you guys have enjoyed our tutorials with revisiting our hand knotting of the pearls. It's one of my very, very favorite things to do. I really love the way that it feels, whether it's pearls, gemstones, check glass beads. It doesn't make any difference to me to knot between them. It just gives it such a luxurious kind of fluidity that even the best bead string wire just can't compare. And a lot of that has to do with the silk, but I found that even with the nylon cords, the drape is just so amazing. So if you've never done pearl knotting before or any kind of knotting with the hand knotter tool, I encourage you to take it out of the package. You know who you are. Take it out of the package and give it a try, because once you get the hang of it, I think you'll find it's one of those techniques that's very kind of therapeutic. And I say that and some people are like, but it's so frustrating. It's not. Once you get past the frustration and you get in the groove, then it becomes one of those kinds of, you know, a rocking thing that you can pull down a pearl and do the knot, pull down the pearl and do the knot, or the bead or whatever. It's, you know, it's like crochet. People who do that kind of thing, like you get in the rhythm and then you can really kind of just relax into it. And I love techniques that are that way, you know? So I think that you will enjoy this if you give it a chance. And if you do, of course, please post all your pictures on the group. If you're part of the Sara Ellis Designs community, post your pictures. We want to see what you are creating, even if it isn't this. Post all your amazing creations and come and join us if you're not a part of that group already. Also, let's see, what else? If you would like to give to the Sara Ellis Tip Jar, Nicole and Joan have the links where you can do that if you want to. Guys, tomorrow is Feel Good Friday, and I have 3 great kits. I cannot wait to show them to you. One of the necklaces, oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. I can't wait for you guys to see tomorrow's kits. So set your reminders for 1 p.m. tomorrow. Those of you who are in the paid group, you can catch me tonight at 7 p.m. with our special guest. And you may see me later on at Sam's Bead Shop during his Facebook Live. I may drop in for a few minutes and say hello to all of y'all. So have a great rest of your afternoon. If I don't see you tonight, I will see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of the day. I love you guys. Bye.